Good morning. I love all this energy. Sunday mornings are so nice, really. I mean, they really are. Because we come here and we got all this crazy energy we pick up, just floating around, planet Earth. And then we get to take all our energy together and kind of lasso it all up together and just create a whole new little ball of energy that we want to create for the sake of sending it out to the planet so we can bring peace on Earth. And we're coming close to that season. But here we are, Thanksgiving week. And are you all feeling really grateful today, maybe particularly? Are you? I kind of am. I kind of am. And we're going to talk about that today. So I want to welcome everyone who's here and everyone who may be online to Unity Spiritual Center, Georgetown. We come together, as I said, every week to meditate together and to sing together and to pray together and to affirm together and to learn together, to create this energy that it is so needed in this universe, in this world, to elevate the consciousness of the planet. That's what I like to say is my vision statement, to do my part to elevate the consciousness of the planet, which I think is what we all need to do. So Unity is very unique in many ways, but in particular is because oneness is our foundational teaching, oneness. And being in the present moment is our fundamental practice. Everything else has to do with those two large concepts. Everything falls under that after that. And as you know, we have no dogma, we have no creed, but we do have 5 principles that guide our philosophy. And part of what we do here on Sunday mornings, and I thought about this, is 2 things. To create this energy that we can bathe in. Think of it as a hot tub, a spiritual hot tub. Something like that. And so we're in a spiritual hot tub, and we're going like, oh, this feels so good. One of those things. And the other thing is to, develop spiritual practices, because that's what we need to do. And Unity has a lot of them. And I've told you before, if you go to the website, they took it off the big mothership website. I don't know why, but we kept it in ours. If you go to our website, under resources, it's a drop down, and it says, spiritual tools. And there's like 14 of them. 14. Like, one of them is like meditation, of course, journaling, of affirmation, meditation, things like that. There's even one that says playlist, which we all, as you know, my daughter is a music therapist, so my daughter. So we're all acknowledging that, in fact, music is a big part of what we do, and it spiritually, of course, is wonderful. Which reminds me how blessed I am, as long as we're talking about Thanksgiving, how blessed I am to have such a wonderful music team, so thank you. Anyway, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Georgetown, a spiritual breath of fresh air. So please join me in affirming our mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, inspiring and empowering individual and global transformation as exemplified by the life and teachings of Jesus. Our announcements.
Good morning. If you're here for the first time today, we'd like to give you a welcome. So if you feel comfortable, would you stand so we can say hi? Okay. Gary, I know you're from where?
I live near Unity Church of the Hills.
Okay, so this is Gary from Unity Church of the Hills in North Austin. Welcome, Gary. Well, Gary, I hope you feel welcome here. Oh. What's your name, dear?
Kristen.
Kristen, and where are you from? From Kingwood. Oh, welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's get physical. Meeting with Tommy is not.
Metaphysical, sir.
What did I say?
There is a slight
Let's get metaphysical. Did I say this? Physical?
metaphysical.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, Tommy's discussion group is not meeting this week because of Thanksgiving, but he will be meeting next week, the week after Thanksgiving. So the book club meets on the fourth Tuesday of each month at the Larkin Owl downtown at 10 a.m. The next meeting is going to be on November the 28th, and the books to be discussed is The Conscious Dreaming by Robert Moss. The Caring Place is looking for cereal donations this month, and next month is going to be toiletries. Nancy Ananda Weber is our new representative on the Caring Place Council, and she'll be taking donations to them. So thank you, Nancy Ananda. Okay, we now have a text to donate available. So if you've ever made a donation online, it's similar to that. You just text to the number 737-206-8833. You text a dollar amount, and you'll be directed to the Breeze website, and you automatically, and you can enter your name and address and the source of your funds. But you only have to enter that the first time you give. So Dan, our musical director and piano player extraordinaire, is having a concert on December the 3rd after service from 12 to 2. It'll be a potluck, so bring your favorite.
A buffet. A buffet. Everyone knows I love a buffet, right?
Yeah. Bring your favorite dish so Dan can share with you. Request. Hey.
Just a little teaser. I had some buffet songs. I didn't write them, but I learned them. Somewhere over the buffet, watch me fly. There's a meal I must get to. Stop me and you will die.
Okay. You can request that song or any other one you like. And it's also birthday Sunday, so we're going to have a cake for dessert. Yay. Now, the choir is going to be performing the Christmas Eve program. Most of the choir practices will be after service on Sundays, so there's still time to join if you're interested. There will also be a holiday potluck at the home of Therese and Huck Finn on December the 16th. They live at 207 Marbella Way. I'm sorry? On the 9th?
209.
209. Oh, I'm sorry. Marbella Way at 5 p.m.
Go to 207. That's just more buffet for me.
Please RSVP with the dish you're bringing to the welcome table or online from the newsletter. Volunteers are needed. So if you'd like to volunteer and be part of the worker bee community here, please sign up. Categories are greeter, reader, which is what I'm doing, setup, tech support, PowerPoint, the angel team, Sunday school, and the hospitality group. So there's more information on each of these opportunities at the welcome table. So why not try something out for maybe a few months, see if it fits you. Please print your name, phone number for any of these events. You can visit the welcome table in the foyer. You can check out our weekly e-newsletter. You can go to our website, or you can email admin at unitygeorgetown.org. Thank you.
One final announcement, and then we'll start our service. Let's get all the business stuff out of the way at the beginning and all the details. And then once we start service, it's just about service. Next week is the beginning of Advent. And I have ordered these little Advent books. And there's some outside. On your way out, you can pick one up if you're familiar with them. It just goes through every day and every week. First Sunday of Advent, next week will be Hope and Faith. And then every day there's a little saying of some sort or another. So pick one up on the way out if you like. So, as you know, we like to start out the morning with a little bit of humor. Laughter is the best medicine because, as I like to say, we just kind of shake out all that energy that we have from the outside world and just kind of get all readjusted. And I was trying to find something that had Thanksgiving in it, and this is as close as I could find. I think I did it last year, but it's okay. So this is for our resident bean counter, Mr. Patrick, back there somewhere. It says, a nervous taxpayer was unhappily conversing with the IRS auditor who had come to review his records. At one point, the auditor exclaimed, "We feel it is a great privilege to live and work in the United States. As a citizen, you have an obligation to pay taxes, and we expect you to pay it eagerly and with a smile." The taxpayer responded, "A smile? Oh my God, thank you. I thought you were going to ask for money." Let's rise and begin our service.
Today's daily word is guidance. Divine guidance clears and lights my way. I am divinely guided, moment by moment, breath by breath. With certainty and assurance, I go forth to do what is mine to do, trusting all things are working for the good. Even during the most trying times, through my faith, I am assured that all is well, regardless of the appearances, just as the sun shines after a storm. In times of uncertainty, I turn within, pray, and enter the silence where I can better discern that small, still voice within me. Then I relax and pay attention to my intuition. I listen deeply to my soul's calling. I am open and receptive to the many ways my guidance manifests. Knowing and claiming my oneness with God, I dare to reach for my dreams. With unshakable faith, I go forth expecting to receive clear guidance and direction from the Christ within me. And from Psalm 32:8, I will instruct you and teach you the way you should go. Today's affirmation is divine guidance clears and lights my way. Please state this affirmation with me twice. Divine guidance clears and lights my way. Divine guidance clears and lights my way.
Good morning. I'm Jill Cook, prayer chaplain, in case you don't know me. And I'm about to light the 3 candles that represent the aspects of the law of divine order. You can't see them properly, but they are mind, idea, and expression. Divine mind is the source of everything that is and everything that can be. It is the realm of infinite possibility. We align ourselves with divine mind, and we are supplied with creative ideas. We see things differently. We activate and express these ideas through our thoughts, words, and actions, and thus become co-creators with God. All right, let us say the prayer of intention together. Living Spirit opens our minds, opens our hearts, touches us all deeply with love, and sends us out. Any children here, but there are children in the world and many that need our prayers. So let's send them love. Now join me. Oh, now it's time for a song. together our statement of being and vision. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotence. God, go create world, love, peace, and abundance. Now it's time for our community prayer. Music? Oh, I'm sorry. Some music. Now it's time for our community prayer. Let us become still and centered as we prepare to pray. Today, I want to focus our attention on any concerns you have. Bring those concerns forward in your mind. Focus on your breathing and become centered and still. Release all concerns. Breathe in peace. Breathe out anxiety. Breathe in peace. Breathe out tension. Breathe in peace. Breathe out worries. Let us step into our sacred space, for it is here that we rest in love. During this season of Thanksgiving, let us consider what being thankful means. Become mindful of all the blessings in your life. Feel gratitude for the good things, like having a safe place to live, plentiful food, Dan, and clean water, friends, family, and of course, our own Unity Spiritual Center. We often take these gifts for granted. Right now, take a moment to reflect on how fortunate we are to be here in this moment. Within you is an essential core of divine presence. Let us place our awareness there and connect to our inner power. Let our hearts guide us. Let our gratitude fill our entire being and radiate out to all life. Let us feel grateful for this moment and the beautiful light within us. We are love. We are one with all life. And now, within this sacred space, let us pray. If you are holding a person or situation in your heart, bring them into our circle of love by speaking their name or condition aloud or silently. And we'll be quiet for a few moments. Amen. And now let us close our time of prayer by singing an ancient prayer, a prayer handed down through the ages that affirms God's realm manifest in earth as it is in heaven. The Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the
The practice of self-healing. Inspiration from author Becky Blades. For our spiritual practice, I want to talk about the hurts that each of us carry in our subconscious. You may not be constantly aware of these wounds, but they exist. Sometimes, if we're lucky, we meet an opportunity that seems so right for us that we pour our hearts into an effort to attain it. For example, it could be getting into a certain college, making the team, or getting the loan. A life-changing something that will keep us up late, get us up early, and make us dig deep to give our 100% best. And then go back and give a little more just to be sure. When these important things don't work out, we can be left with a wound. As a kid, I was a train wreck as an athlete, believe it or not. I was very uncoordinated and nervous about participating in any sport, and I fell a lot. By 2 weeks into the school year, everyone had learned the truth, and I became the very last kid chosen, every time. This felt like total rejection. Can you relate? As adults, we learn our limits and how to push through them, if only to help us achieve our next hope or dreams. By surviving, we learn not only how to withstand rejection, but also how to hold and extend empathy for others who may have been disparaged, ignored, or otherwise rejected. Sometimes the greatest connection we find with others is shared adversity. How different might the world be if we recognized one another's injuries? What if we remembered that we are all wounded survivors and that a little kindness is always beneficial for others? Soothing those bruises in the others also renews and strengthens our connections to the light. Okay, let's take a deep breath and release all thoughts and tensions we have accumulated so far today. Let's take a deep breath and release the thoughts and tensions. Now take another deep breath and become aware of the light that surrounds us. Let us breathe in peace. Breathe out all stress. Let us breathe in faith. Breathe out all doubt. Let us breathe in hope. Breathe out all anxiety. Let us become silent and go within to our inner sanctuary, and there become aware of God's presence that permeates all life. In this moment, focus on your Christ presence, and now become fully present in this space. I release all doubt and fear. I bring the virtue of gratitude into this space. I know I am part of something larger than myself, as we are all one. I am thankful for all the blessings in my life. Now, as we move into meditation, breathe in love, and let's spend time in the beautiful quiet of spirit. Dan will bring us back with his song. Dan.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am for grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
My lesson today, I wanted to acknowledge that I had a special prayer request today from Kay, one of our members, and she has her daughter's in the hospital today with some kind of a little kidney infection or something. So we send her out all this energy of healing energy and affirm that she will be well tended to and be released soon. So today is, of course, the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And I'd like to talk a little bit about giving thanks, about having an attitude of gratitude. And as usual, when an event like this takes place, I like to look at both the historical side of it a little bit, and as well as the metaphysical side of it. Because, well, that's what we do at Unity. We interpret things metaphysically, not just the Bible, life in general, period. And I know it's a cliche to say that here we are, Thanksgiving again. We keep saying it. My son and I have this thing that we do every year, when it's because we're big football fans. So it's like week 1 of NFL season. And every time, every Sunday, we say, before we know it, it'll be Thanksgiving. And sure, here we are again. Sheesh. But not only that, not only has the year gone by incredibly fast, but the last 2 years have. I've been here for 2 years. I said, what? How does that even work? So Thanksgiving is a day that America sets aside as a national day for giving thanks. And that's a wonderful thing. But however, we in Unity are mindful of the fact that giving thanks is something that we should do on a daily basis. And in fact, if every morning the first words out of your mouth are, like that song, "Thank you for this day, Spirit," you would be hard-pressed to find a better way to start your day. So I invite you to do that. Try it for a little bit. As soon as you wake up, say, "Thank you for this day, Spirit." Gratitude is one of the best spiritual practices we can possibly have. In fact, many people keep a gratitude journal. That's how important it is. St. Paul in 1 Thessalonians wrote, "Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you. Do not quench the Spirit." The spiritual idea about being in a state of gratitude is that it opens up the universal flow of abundance in your life. And I'll share a story in a minute with you from Scripture that shows that. For many of us, being grateful is a challenge because most people are so busy trying to acquire more, trying to do more, that they don't stop to think about what they have. There is a saying, happiness is not having everything that you want. It is being happy with what you have. That's a big difference. Now, it doesn't mean that we need to stop trying to do more and expand in that way, because that's our nature to do that, to expand and always be seeking more. But more in a spiritual sense, I suppose, would be the difference. So it means being happy with whatever it is, wherever you are at any given circumstance, all the time. All the time. And it's easy to do, for most of us when things are going well, but when things are not going particularly well, it's a challenge. And that's what that whole story of Job is in the Hebrew scripture. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but Job, he was the best. God says, look at my guy Job, man. He's the best. He's always giving thanks. And this is the first time Satan comes into the Bible. And Satan is the tempter in Jewish. It's not so much a person or an evil person. It's just that little nature of us that we have that tempts you or challenges. You're just not good enough type of, that little thing. So Satan, the tempter, says, oh, sure. He's a great servant and everything because you give him everything he wants. Take it away from him and let's see what happens now. And so God did. And of course, Job met the challenge. And so that's what that, in all circumstances, being. And he remained faithful. So that's very important. So as I said earlier, we come here because We want to develop spiritual practices. That is an important thing. And that healing energy that we create. In unity, we say that our outer conditions are a reflection of our inner conditions, of our inner state of being, individually, collectively, and everything. So given that, obviously, our work to do is to work on our inner condition, about our feelings and our thoughts. So we teach that whatever it is that we give our attention to, we reinforce. We have a little saying, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And the more important it is to maintain an attitude of gratitude. It takes a mindful effort to stay in that consciousness. We're easily distracted, easily. Scripture says, but small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. That means exactly that we're focused on everything else but this. Seek ye first the kingdom. On a different note, and being the naturally curious person that I am, I did want to look up something about the tradition of a Thanksgiving Day. So let's start by talking about what Thanksgiving Day is for us now, in this current. For Americans, it's about getting together with family, eating turkey, stuffing, potatoes, of all kinds of potatoes, casseroles, biscuits, lots of gravy, pumpkin pie, and of course the main dish, NFL football. You better believe it. And it turns out, after doing a little bit of investigating, that that's not exactly what took place at that first Thanksgiving dinner. Number one, they didn't have turkey. They had venison, and there were no sweet potatoes. They didn't have any flour, any butter, any sugar, so no biscuits, no pumpkin pie, and certainly no NFL football. Big drag, but it doesn't sound like Thanksgiving for us at all, for me anyway. So, and all along we've been thinking that, well, we're kind of recreating, what the events of the time, and it's not even close. So what actually took place was, traditionally we're told that the first gathering was in 1621, and the Pilgrims were celebrating their first harvest in America. And it tells us that it was filled with peace and love and goodwill and all these things, and that's not exactly right either. Some historians say it took place much later and the result of the Pilgrims' victory over the natives. And another thing is that 1621 may have been the first one, but it didn't turn out into an annual event till much later, 1863, when Honest Abe, 200 years later, declared it a national holiday of Thanksgiving. And it didn't really have nothing to do with the Pilgrims at that point. It was about the Union Civil War victories. So why am I telling you this? Because for two reasons. First, it's an event that happened only 400 years ago, and we can't seem to get the story straight. So what does it tell you about events that are recorded from 2,000 years ago? Not much hope of getting those events accurate either. But I'll let you work on that one. And the second reason is because I want to make the greater point. And the greater point is that whether things happen, this is a metaphysical interpretation of things, whether they happen literally or not is not a deal breaker. It's what's behind the story that makes a difference. So whether it took place or didn't place, that's fine. It's about that giving attitude behind everything. And that's what's important. And earlier I mentioned that being in a state of gratitude opens up the abundance of the universe. Let me share with you now a little story from the Bible. And I'll summarize it. I don't have to read it all up entirely. It's a story about feeding the 5,000. And it said it was after a long day on the ministry trail. It was late, and the disciples said to Jesus, "Send the people home so that we can get something to eat." And Jesus said to them, "Why don't we give them all something to eat?" And they responded, "What? From where? With what?" And Jesus said to them, "Well, what do you have?" He said, "We have 5 loaves and 2 fish." And so Jesus said, "Give them to me." And when he took them, the first thing he did was look to the heavens and say thank you. So he opened himself up to the abundance of the universe. So as we say sometimes, you just turn it over to the universe. And so then now it says, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to his disciples to distribute to the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and all were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 baskets of broken pieces of bread and fish. The number of the men who had eaten that day was 5,000. And that's just the men, it says, because obviously the women were there, children and everything else. The point is of this expansion. Now, did this happen literally? Here we go again. Did it happen literally? Maybe, maybe not. That's not the point. It's that giving thing. There's always a way. The abundance of the universe tells you there is always a way. You just have to open yourself. And when he made that gesture to look up, that opened up the universe to the entire thing. And problem solved. Basically, that's what happened. So the benefits, again, of being grateful are numerous. And I looked this up, and it says this: improved self-esteem, better sleep, boosts overall physical health, boosts immune system, improved relationships, and it goes on. It's just good for you to be, even if you don't believe in anything, physically, it is good for you to be in a state of gratitude. So work on it. Start every day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. You can even sing it if you want to. I can still hear the song. You know, Meister Eckhart, and I love Meister Eckhart. I quote him all the time. He said, if the only prayer you ever say is thank you, that will be enough. Well, there you have it. That's how important it is to be grateful. You know, I was reading a few years ago when I first wrote about Thanksgiving. It was in 2020, and on the Daily Word, there was an article from Reverend Thomas Shepard. And Reverend Thomas Shepard was a teacher at Unity Village for a long, long time, and I love that guy because he's a theologian and stuff. He gets real deep into stuff, and I love him. And he said that there was a time when he was having open heart surgery, and that, his mind was all over the place because, it's not an easy thing to go through. And then he said, while he was there, he saw a program about the original Thanksgiving. And he saw, and he learned that it was a tough winter for the early Americans. They lost half of the population that winter to disease and malnutrition. And then he writes, then it hit me. He said, gratitude is a noun, something I feel. Thanksgiving is a verb, something I do. He says he spent the rest of the time in the hospital giving thanks for everything and everyone because he realized that giving thanks is for the benefit of the one who gives thanks. And we say that all the time. Forgiveness is for the forgiver. And he realized that. And he says, and I quote, meditating on the radical idea of giving thanks in all circumstances, I began to recognize the difference between giving thanks for and giving thanks during any given personal situation that may be happening. He says, I can't always be thankful for my circumstances, but I can always give thanks during adverse and challenging times. Thank you for that, Reverend Shepard. You know, we've talked about it a couple of times at LGM, Let's Get Metaphysical, in case you know what LGM is, group. And Teresa and I have talked about it because Teresa, is our lead chaplain. And so we talk about things, how to improve service all the time. And we've talked about the idea of maybe adding a poem or a short little something from, because we're influenced by everything. And the transcendentalism, we're very influenced by the romantic poets like Wordsworth and people like that. Well, I thought, you know what? I don't know if we'll do it all the time, but today I remembered something that I wanted to share with you. I read it in 1976 for the first time. That's how long I've been reading things. And are you familiar with Khalil Gibran, the prophet? Yeah, I read that way back when. I've got the album in vinyl of what's his name, Harris, something Harris. What was it? He was an actor. Richard Harris. Thank you. I have, maybe I should bring it. I have it at home, back home. Just look at it. I mean, and he reads it, Al-Mustafa, the chosen and beloved. You know how it starts, right? That's how it starts. So it's you know what it is? It's a story about this guy who had been, it's a classic hero's journey that we see everywhere. The guy had been on this island or this place with these people for a long time. But now it was time to return home. And so the people all gathered around because they really love the guy. They all gathered around him. And they started asking him questions, all the talk to us about love, talk to us about our children, all these questions, that everybody has questions about things, right? And so finally, and this guy, if you remember, he paints pictures with his words. That's what I always gathered from this guy. So if you'd like, you can close your eyes. If not, it's okay. But I want to read for you something from that book. It says, "Then said a rich man, 'Speak to us of giving.' And he answered, 'You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. For what are your possessions but things you keep in guard for fear you may need them tomorrow? And tomorrow, what shall tomorrow bring to the overprudent dog bearing bones in the trackless sand as he follows the pilgrims to the holy city? And what is fear of need but need itself? Is not the dread of thirst when your well is full the thirst that is unquenchable? There are those who give little of much that they have, and they give it for recognition, and their hidden desires makes their gifts unwholesome. And there are those who have little and give it all. These are the believers in life and the bounty of life, and their coffer is never empty. These are those who give with joy, and their joy is their reward. And there are those who give with pain, and their pain is their baptism. And there are those who give and know not pain in giving, nor do they seek joy, nor give with mindfulness of virtue. They give as in yonder valley, the myrtle breathes its fragrance into space. Through the hands such as these, God speaks, and from behind their eyes, he smiles upon the earth. It is well to give when asked, but it is better to give unasked through understanding. And to the open-handed, the search for one who will receive in joy greater than giving. And is there aught that you would withhold, and that you have shall someday, all that you have shall someday be given? Therefore give now, that the season of giving shall be yours and not your inheritors. You often say, I would give, but only to the deserving. The trees in your orchard say not so, nor the flocks in your pasture. They give that they might live, for to withhold is to perish. Surely he who is worthy to receive his days and his nights is worthy of all else from you. He who deserves to drink from the ocean of life deserves to fill his cup from your little stream. See first that you yourself deserve to be a giver and an instrument of giving. For in truth, it is life that gives unto life. And you who deem yourself a giver are but a witness. And you receivers, and you are all receivers, assume no weight of gratitude, lest ye lay a yoke upon yourself and upon him who gives. Rather rise together with the giver on his gifts as on wings. For to be mindful of your debt is to doubt his generosity, who has the free-hearted earth as mother and God as Father. some kind of a do, that guy. So we'd like to continue with service today with special music. And it's from somebody that I've talked to the LGM group about, who are not familiar with it, Jason Mraz. And this guy is very spiritual. I mean, listen to his stuff. This one is called, what is it called? What? Tell me?
Look for the good.
Look for the good in everyone and everything. And hope you
Look for the good.
As I said, I am very, very thankful. That is so nice. Thank you so much, all of you guys. So now comes the times when we offer our tithes and our gifts to our spiritual community so that we can continue to do the work of expanding the consciousness of this planet. So together we take our tithes in our hands and we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust God.
Everything
is magnified in kind, God, I'll give it back to you. Join me in our offering dedication. We bless and dedicate these tithes and offerings as an expression of divine love, and we release them to manifest that love in our community and in our world. We don't have any children today, but we always bless the children of the world. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Today, Jill is our prayer chaplain. There's Jill's hand right there. And let's get metaphysical and have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Let's end with our peace song. Please rise.
And with me, let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.
Surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I are, God is. I am. All is well. Have a great week and pick up your little booklets on the way out.
Yeah, man.